Okay, so about 5 years ago, my passion for education was at an all-time high. I started to become one of those annoyingly passionate people who, whenever you'd see them on the streets, you'd get bombarded with all of the facts and issues regarding their passion, and in my case, it was education. And one day, I was having a discussion with my neighbor about education, and she asked me a question that really made me put my passion for education into perspective. And the question she asked me was, well, Mr. Know-it-all, if you know so much about education, then why aren't you doing more to make a difference? And I sat back and I thought about that. And before the end of that year, I started my first literacy initiative under the name of my organization, the Community Leadership Center. I remember that first month, a family friend approached me and he said, you know something, Chad, these kids are going through such great hardship at home and in school, and do you really think that coming to some little class every day will really make much of a difference in their lives? And I told him, honestly, I don't know. But if their lives are as hard as you're making it seem like they are, it sounds like you need to get on board too, because they obviously need as much help as possible. And he did not accept my invitation, unfortunately. And what's really sad about it is he is a positive and productive citizen in this country, but he's allowed the sheer, I guess, depth and scale of our educational issues to intimidate him into a position of paralysis where he doesn't want to take a step anymore and to even beginning to tackle the issue as a person. And we really need to get over that within this country, because we do have value as people and we do have things to contribute to the lives of our kids, especially in regards to education. I remember when I first started this, I met a young man, and he, like most young men that come to my center, he every morning would tote and carry 5-gallon bottles of water to the pump every morning to carry back home in a shopping cart that I guess they took from a local convenience store. And he would carry the water home for his family to take a bath and brush their teeth and whatever else he would use water for in the mornings. And afterwards, he would help to get his little siblings ready for school and then walk them to their preschool. And he's in 5th grade, by the way. And walk them to their preschool, and then he would go to school without lunch money, of course, and go through a day of confusion and frustration as he struggled to come to terms with the fact that he wasn't really good at any of the subjects that were being put before him, because the system had left him behind a really long time ago. And on this day that I met him, he took a math test, and he got a 0% on that math test. And if you allow this cycle to continue, and if he allows this cycle to continue in his life, you can definitely see the trajectory for him that a lot of our young men and women go on in their lives, where they just get socially promoted up through the system and eventually spat out, not as an innocent youth who is a victim of the system, but as a 16 or 18-year-old near adult, and we start holding them accountable for these decisions they made, and we start punishing them and viewing them as maybe just another dark brown face within the inner city to be avoided and to be afraid of and to be scolded for the decisions and held accountable for the decisions and mistakes he made throughout his childhood, just at the flip of a switch, as if you become an adult in a single day. And that's not exactly fair or right, I don't think, but that's sort of how the system has been working. And so this young man, though, he decides to do something about it. He hears about my center, and of his own volition, he decides to come in for help. And so I hear the kids outside laughing a lot, and I go outside and I say, "What's going on? Why are you laughing at this young man?" And they said, "Mr. Prat, you have to take a look at his notebook." So they passed it to me, and I opened it, and I saw the 0%, and I scanned the page, and I saw in the lower right corner of the page that in really neat handwriting that I later found out belonged to his teacher were the words, "God help you." And this young man is standing there, and he's embarrassed. And he's probably feeling rather hopeless about this situation and what he's reading and seeing and hearing every day. And I usher him into the center and get him registered, and I take him to my father, who is a core member of this group of us that are doing this work. And my father is involved, of course, because if he could get a scatterbrain like me to learn growing up, I feel that he could work wonders with kids. And so I take this young man to my father, and I explain the situation to him, and within 30 minutes, this young man is getting 100% of the sums we put in front of him correct. He was doing long addition, by the way. That's what the test was on. And this is the young man who supposedly 30 minutes, a half hour before this, somehow needed divine intervention to save him. We can make a difference. The average kid that walks through my doors at the Community Leadership Center are about 3 or 4 grade levels behind. That sounds bad, but it's even worse when you realize that the median grade level at the Community Leadership Center is 5th grade. So you have a lot of 5th graders who are reading at a 2nd or 1st grade level and performing math at a 2nd or 1st grade level. However, after an academic year, we average about an improvement of about 1.6 grade levels in reading for the average student and 1.8 grade levels, so almost 2 whole grade levels in one academic year improvement at our center. And this is after, on a given academic year, using our software, we can track what's going on. And this is after this year, about 56,000 math questions answered by my class of a little over 30 kids, and about 12,000 reading comprehension exercises done, and about 550 ebooks read and completed. And you're starting to see these kids just get locked in and engaged, and there's so much improvement going on. And it really makes you feel like you're a part of something and you're really making a difference. So I don't know how many of you have ever seen a kid excited about doing variable equations. I have. And I don't know how many of you have seen the smile of a little girl when for the first time ever in her life, she's able to read a story without making a single error. These kids are coming into my center 5 days a week, and they're doing math, and they're doing phonics, and they're doing reading comprehension, and they're doing grammar and composition, and we're having a blast, and we're eating pizza, and we're eating candies, and we're playing video games, and we're going on field trips, and we're having Christmas parties, and then you start to realize that this is a bit more than just teaching. This is a bit more than just having fun. You start building relationships, and you start forming connections with these kids that are probably going to last for a lifetime. I mean, there have been kids that have come in shorter than my chest, and now they're towering over me. There are kids that come in at the bottom of their class, and now they're nearing the top. And there are kids that will make you so proud of the work that you're able to do and make you feel so fulfilled as a person. There's one little girl in particular, I remember when she came in as a 9-year-old, unconcerned and not really motivated as a student. And I was looking at her one day, and I just got filled with pride all of a sudden, because I realized that today she's just the epitome of class and the epitome of work ethic and the epitome of intelligence. And I'm proud because I look at her and I know what she's been through, and it hasn't been easy for her. I was there when she came in crying about the financial struggles that her family was going through, and I was there when she was lost and confused for a while because her father decided to have a disappearance act and abandon the family, and she was so upset about that and so angry with the world. And despite all of this going on in her life, she's still pushing and trying and growing as a person. And I'm proud because today I look at her, and when I think about potentially having a daughter in the future, I can honestly say that I would wish for my daughter to be exactly like this little girl. And it makes me proud because I know that I've been able to play just a little part in helping her to become a great person and fulfill her potential in life. I'm telling you these things today because I honestly believe that we can make a difference. I really not only believe that, but I want to get as many people believing this as possible, because we have within our communities all the resources we need. We have in our communities all the ideas that we need. We have all of these little underground organizations that we never hear about that are doing great things in our communities, but we need more help, and we need more people, and we need more cooperation, and we need more communities and groups of people coming together and taking on big issues like education and tackling them in a way that they've never been confronted before. And I really believe that we can do this. I know we like to tell our kids that education is the most important thing they'll ever do, and we like to tell them that it's the key to success and unlocking their dreams. And despite the fact that our teachers are underpaid, despite the fact that as a society we haven't been pushing as hard as we could for widespread reform, despite the fact that many educational initiatives are resource-starved, I honestly believe that we as a society do still have faith in education as a transformational force within the lives of our kids. But if we want to get them to believe it, if we want them to have faith in all these grand proclamations we're making about what education can do for them, then I do believe that we have a duty as individuals, as a community, and as a society to really create for them a system that is capable of empowering them to do these great things, because we can make a difference. Thank you.